Well, many people turned to religion to help them cope in the days after the 9/11 attacks, and some even chose new faiths, including Islam. That may be no surprise, since a quarter of the estimated 6 million Muslims in the United States are converts. Delia Gallagher looks at two people who chose that path.
Allison Poole says this phrase 3 times in Arabic, and then in English.
There is no God but God.
And I bear witness
that Muhammad
is the messenger of God.
is the messenger of God.
And her conversion ceremony is complete. She's now a Muslim. Moments later, she'll marry Sammy and become Allison El Gamal. But Allison, who was raised a Southern Baptist in North Carolina, says faith, not marriage, made her want to become a Muslim.
I think for a long time I've been looking for something. There's been like a piece missing. Always one little thing that maybe wasn't right.
At a ceremony marking the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, she explained why Islam appeals to her.
I think because it's much more about peace. I'm praying 5 times a day. It's kind of hard to go out and say bad things or do bad things when you're praying 5 times a day.
And you have to believe.
The imam who married Allison says he's seen more American converts recently, in part because of the prominence of Islam in the news.
It may sound paradoxical, but what happens is that when something becomes more in the news, people tend to want to know about it.
Allison says she was already on a spiritual quest when she began to hear a lot about Islam post 9/11. Barbara Cardebuke, another recent Muslim convert, says 9/11 also played a part in her conversion.
After 9/11, I thought this is the time when people really have to start looking for real answers to get away from everybody fighting back and war. You have to start looking towards God.
Barbara says through Islam she found a one-on-one relationship with God she was unable to find as a Roman Catholic.
I always felt when you go to church you're praying to Jesus or you're doing Hail Marys. You're not, I used to think, well, where's God?
She says her family has been mostly supportive of her conversion. Allison says her family is completely behind her decision, but occasionally she's reminded that not everyone is.
I was walking around down near the World Trade Center, and this woman walked by, and she said, I want to just go bomb those Muslim bastards. And I heard her say it, and it really struck me, because I was like, you know what, that's me. This is something that's brought me a peace that I've never known. And it's still so misunderstood.
It's a choice she's proud of and says she'll keep for life. Delia Gallagher, CNN.
It's the world's fastest growing religion, Islam. The Chicago area alone, home to an estimated 400,000 Muslim faithful. Tonight, why some people are making the switch to a religion many Americans have trouble understanding. Mark Saxenmeyer has our special report.
This is the story of 3 Chicagoans, all raised as Christians, all who decided to ultimately reject that religion.
Internet is down.
Nadira Rodriguez Muhammad grew up Catholic, but found herself constantly questioning the long-held beliefs of her family.
I always felt that something was missing for me.
Ian Bushner is a law student at the University of Chicago.
I felt like that there wasn't a God.
Whitney Nichols is a new Loyola grad who grew up in suburban Streamwood.
I guess what I was really looking for was what felt most natural and most logical to me.
When Nadira entered high school in the mid-1990s, she became friends with a group of Muslim girls.
They just had this level of contentment and a sisterhood that was... I wanted to be a part of that.
Ian drifted towards the Muslim students at his high school as well.
I remember defending some of my friends at school from accusations, after 9/11. And then I started reading the Quran. I said, oh, here is a form of God that I've never been presented before.
After September 11, you know, the interest actually increased.
Dr. Assad Basul is professor at Chicago's Islamic American College. He says the tragedy 6 years ago initially prompted angry questions, but eventually many of the curious found answers to their own spiritual questions through Islam and converted.
Sometimes, you know, negative things bring positive things.
In fact, according to a first-ever random sampling of American Muslims by the Pew Research Center, 21% of the nation's 2.4 million Muslims are converts to the faith.
Eventually, I realized that I was looking to the Quran for advice, for direction, and at the point that you believe that the Quran is revelation from God, then you're a Muslim.
The conversion has meant many changes in their lives. Ian prays 5 times a day.
You'll finish a prayer and realize, I've just screwed something up. I've done something mean to somebody. Let me go back and correct that.
Nadira wears the scarf, or hijab as it's called.
It is part of my character, you know, modesty, and it's just part of who I am.
I don't know if I'll ever be ready to wear the hijab. I've become more modest. I won't wear tank tops and I won't wear shorts.
Whitney says she has had to constantly defend her new religion.
My father asked me right after I converted, you know, why do you want to be associated with these terrorists? And I'm like, this is what you see? Oh no! And we kind of have to deal with the backlash of those who have chosen to do something so horrible.
But all say there is no going back.
At some age, everyone must decide what they believe and live their life accordingly.
I'm Mexican, you know, I'm a female, and I chose this for myself.
If you have a personal, you know, relationship with God, whatever that may be, however that may be, then you're in a good place.
Mark Sexenmeyer, Fox News, Chicago.
Now, for a longer version of this story, log on to our website, myfoxchicago.com. You can find it inside Mark Sexenmeyer's blog.
It's estimated Islam is the fastest growing religion in the capital. Meet Shireen, Iman and Tim, 3 young Londoners who converted, or as they say, reverted to become a Muslim.
It is difficult. I think every revert goes through a sort of phase of an identity crisis, wondering whether they can be white and Muslim, but Islam is for all races, and when you come into the Muslim community you realise that. As I'm not wearing hijab yet, I haven't experienced any negative attitudes as of yet. I expect that when I do wear hijab there may be some, but it's been my decision and I'm happy with it. Recently there's been a lot of new groups and online support for reverts and converts, and things like Facebook have really helped, and I was really amazed. Even every day when I get friend requests from people, I can't believe how many reverts there are out there that I've not seen all this time. It would have been really brilliant if at the start of me reading into Islam I'd met these people before.
Basically, my 2 best friends were Muslim sisters, and they got me into the whole concept of Islam, and I got every book I could lay my hands on. I got the Quran on CD at the time. I thought it was going to be a lot quicker. I converted 2 weeks ago. Just literally one day, a light bulb went off in my head. This is what I want. This is what I believe. My family don't know that I've reverted yet because it's only been 2 weeks and they don't actually live in England. My mum being a Christian, she may be a bit upset that I have decided to relinquish that faith and go to Islam. But I'm assuming hopefully she'll get over it and she'll understand why I've done it, and that I haven't done it to hurt her. I've done it because it's what I truly believe.
I'm 22. I study theoretical physics at Royal Holloway. I converted to Islam about 3/4 of the way through my first year of university, which was about 3 years ago. What I believed before was a very Dawkins-style atheism, sort of what I've naturally come across through my scientific background. Because when I first started, I thought, my God, 5 times a day, praying 5 times a day. If I can have 5 cups of tea a day, I've had a really good day. But then after trying it for a little while, it's actually really easy. Before, I'd never thought I'd get married for certain very base instincts, male instincts that were going on. And you know, now after seeing in my new sort of light as a Muslim, I call it being enlightened now, I started to really, you know, believe that I wanted to get married, and I absolutely do, and I have got married. I have a fantastic wife, and we're living happily ever after at the moment. For me, I think I've got just as much freedom, it's just in a much better box.
When you think California girl, you probably think of someone like Angela Collins, a blonde with surfer girl looks. Angela grew up Catholic, but she left the church and converted, and today, Angela Collins is Muslim. She spoke with Jim Murray about her life and the choice she made.
When you look at this photo of Angela Collins, she looks like the all-American girl with blonde hair and gorgeous blue eyes. But that was the old Angela. Now you wouldn't recognize her. Today, Angela never shows her blonde hair in public. In fact, she never goes out without being covered up, because Angela is a recent convert to Islam. She is now a Muslim.
I'm like the girl next door.
Angela is the girl next door. She was a typical California girl growing up in Mission Viejo, California, right in the heart of the OC. That's right, the area made popular by the shows The OC and MTV's Laguna Beach, starring Kristen Cavallari. These are family photos of Angela growing up in a traditional Catholic family. So why would she ever give up everything she knew to follow the teachings of Islam and work running a school for Muslim children?
What do you want people to know about why you converted?
I was seeking truth, and I found it in my religion.
And Angela isn't alone in converting to Islam. In fact, an estimated 20,000 Americans each year become Muslims and join mosques. But life in the U.S. for Muslims hasn't been easy since September 11th.
Yeah, people do react differently to me.
And in a strange twist of events, Angela became a Muslim just weeks after 9/11.
What was the experience like for you?
Well, it was a poor timing on my part.
And how did her family react when Angela told them?
What was your reaction?
Well, actually, I wasn't all that surprised. I was also kind of proud of my daughter because she proved to be an independent thinker.
So looking at Angela today versus the Angela that you grew up with, do you see her as being happier today?
Yes. Yes, I do.
So you see this as a positive change?
Absolutely.
But Angela says when she hears terrorist talk from Adam Gaddan, the fellow Californian now accused of treason for becoming a member of Al-Qaeda, it makes her blood boil.
We should go and slaughter their women and children one by one.
Does that get you angry?
Yes. Yes, it's my religion, and it's being hijacked.
And even with all the changes she's gone through, there's one thing she's not changing. She's keeping her Christian name.
Why have you not changed your name?
Because my mother gave me my name, and my name is Angela, and Angela is a Muslim.